Stan Wawrinka has never lost a Grand Slam final and Rafael Nadal has never lost a French Open final, but something's got to give when the two of them face off on Sunday for the Coupe des Mousquetaires. The numbers are undoubtedly on Nadal's side. Wawrinka is, yes, unbeaten in Grand Slam finals, winning all three that he's played, beating and ailing Nadal at the Australian Open in 2014, and Novak Djokovic at the French Open in 2015 and the US Open in 2016. But Nadal's unbeaten record in French Open finals has survived 9 tests, most of them against Roger Federer, others against Mariano Puerta, David Ferrer, Robin Soderling and Djokovic again. To win 10 French Open titles would be a staggering achievement that will have future generations wondering how anyone could have been that good on clay or everybody else so bad, alternatively. And yet it seemed all but inevitable from well before the start of the 2017 French Open. The seeds were sown in Nadal's excellent first quarter of the season, overshadowed only by Federer's, which saw him finish runner-up at the Australian Open, in Acapulco and Miami, suggesting that he was back to something like his best after years of struggling with injuries. They took root in earnest during the clay court season, in which Nadal, predictably, dominated, winning 10 titles at the Monte Carlo Masters and Barcelona Open and claiming the Madrid Masters title to boot. And with each one-sided contest Nadal has cruised through at Roland Garros, dropping just 23 games on his way to the final, the fewest games he has ever conceded on his way to the final, beating his record in 2008 when he bageled Roger Federer in the decider. He seemed to be tightening his grip on the trophy. Djokovic went out before a projected semi-final meeting and was never going to challenge him anyway. Quarter-finalist Pablo Carreño Busta retired after 10 games due to injury. Semi-final opponent Dominic Thiem, the only man to have beaten Nadal on clay this year, was increasingly woeful in a 3-6, 4-6, 0-6 defeat. Trying to figure out where the boundary between Nadal's magnificence and his opponent's shortcomings lies is a fairly futile exercise. But if you had asked most people to identify one player in the draw before the tournament began who was capable of beating him at the French Open, I think most people would have pointed at the man who faces him across the net on Sunday, Stan Wawrinka. This is the man, after all, who has elevated himself mid-career from an underachiever to an arguable member of the very top echelons, with the same number of Grand Slam titles as Andy Murray, although much fewer accomplishments elsewhere, and the man who spectacularly derailed Djokovic's career slam quest in 2015 with a devastating display of power clay court tennis. Wawrinka didn't come in with any particular form. In fact, he'd had a poor clay court season and only just found something at the very last minute by taking a wild card to defend his Geneva Open title, but form has always been somewhat irrelevant to the Swiss star when it comes to Grand Slams. French Open 2017 live stream. Men's tennis live from Roland Garros. In many ways, Wawrinka's progress through the French Open draw has been a textbook example of playing into perfect form at the right moment. He subdued potentially tricky opponents Alexander Dolgopolov, Fabio Fognini in straight sets in the first week and was focused enough not to spare an extra ounce of energy, beating Gael Monfils and Marin Cilic. Against Andy Murray, he struggled to capitalize on leads at various points of the match. He certainly shouldn't have lost the first set but raised his level in response to each setback and now has the confidence of having survived an extremely hard-fought, competitive match against top-level opposition in 5 sets. Murray himself pointed out after the match that therein